locations are going to matter, as these guys have been over and over again showing incredible routing, incredible execution, and we are underway.
That is it. What do we have in the first chest? We got a little piece of fart in both Sanctuary and Link's house.
Yeah, want to make sure these guys start off on equal footing. 2 red crystals in the light world on Eastern and Hera. Was that the green pendant on Desert, or was it a different one?
I could not tell. We're about to find out again. It is, in fact, the green pendant on Desert.
So very special light world for this very special finals matchup.
Absolutely.
Bombs off the tree pool. Great. Another great find here early. And just a little stream sync there for you. And the sword immediately here off of the uncle as big 20s are coming out of that hoarder.
Big
gonna put gem.
20. I love it.
Yeah, well, if ever there was a time for Smash TV references, this tournament with its big prizes.
Big money. Big prizes. I love it.
Yeah, wow. So, plenty of bombs, plenty of money heading early into this. It's going to be just runner's delight getting to Kakariko. But since we got the sword off of Uncle, Ben is going right into escape.
Can't say I blame him running on in there, because it's one of those spots that you know is there, but because you're in open mode, it's easy to forget about it. But there's the Moon Pearl in the Lost Woods.
That another thing you're just always happy to find early. But yeah, a lot of runners call this the 4th pendant dungeon in open mode, and you can understand why when if you don't get in there early, you just might not get in there.
Yeah, because it's so easy to forget. But that is the main difference. Well, that is the difference between open and standard. In standard mode, you clear this out in the beginning. You farm for your bombs, but in open mode, it's a little bit more complicated. And as you said, that's probably why it's referred to as the 4th pendant dungeon, is because you aren't guaranteed to find anything here. But well, you could find the power gloves. We love the power glove.
We sure do.
So bad.
And now the placement of that other lift upgrade is going to be very interesting info in this seed. We could see it early. We could see it hidden behind the one here. Was that another sword?
It was indeed. So now Gem has the Fisher-Price baby's first sword.
All right, then.
And Ben just going to nope on out of escape right now. Gem not finding anything in the back of the closet there, but both of our runners with a sword definitely helps out in the beginning. Gem has the Moon Pearl, which you got to believe Ajneb is about to find himself. Dipping down into escape certainly was a bonus there for Ben. There is the Cane of Burna in the well as Ben goes down to the back end of escape.
Oh yeah, and picking up the cashed money here is going to have plenty. Ooh, the boots as well.
What are those?
Followed by a bottle. Great find in the village because you can go right to the sick kid. But this is going to set up very nicely. We expect to see a fake flipper play, provided we don't see the flippers. And swords galore.
Third sword. Jet Seed incoming out. Of course, now it's Commentator's Curse.
Oh, man.
Wow. What a start. Yeah, what a start to this seed. 3 swords we have found. We may see some butter today, boys and girls. We could possibly see the butter.
Not be surprised at this point. And it's interesting because we're a lamp now away from...
Flute! Oh, my word! I'm sorry to interrupt. But...
No, that's 100% of your Kakariko Village proper checks. Completely just done here. I guess the only 2 things we want maybe are the hammer and the powder, just to get Bat out of the way, right? Like,
right, yeah.
Point, like, wow. Just jam-packed in the front of the seat so far. Yeah, we're an item away from potentially wanting to go fight Aghanim, but we're also, similarly, an item away from other Dark World access. So it'll be interesting to see how these runners weigh those options, depending on which of those items comes up first. I mean, if we get the Dark World access, you go Dark World. If we get the Aga access, you might wait a while.
Yeah, nobody likes doing Aga because of the amount of the time sink, and particularly given the fact this is Game 5, this is for all the marbles. Do you take a risk like that?
Yeah, it really could make the difference either way.
I did not see what was on the shelf, but obviously it couldn't have been terribly important because Gem
just a
no
bomb
done out of
upgrade.
there. Okay, just a bomb upgrade.
Yeah.
And using the Goose Express is Gem to head down to the dam, where we will find $50. So how long... So depending on what Gem finds here may determine how long he waits before he goes to escape. We know he's going to need to because there is a required item in there, being that lift upgrade. But, oh my gosh, there's the hook shot. This could... Ooh. And he has the flute, so it looks like it's Death Mountain time here very soon. And that's probably going to push off his dive into the Hyrule Castle sewers for quite some time.
Yeah, most likely. And we might not find another lift upgrade. In a certain way, that would be best for Gem, because if you don't have the one, you're really closed off compared to if you're just looking for that second one. So we'll see what comes up here as he finishes off the south.
There's the blue mail and the Quack medallion.
Yeah, it'll remain to be seen just what that can be used for in the seed, but some chance of Crystal, Mire, or Turtle Rock in the seed yet.
And there we are. Ben has achieved tempered sword status here, so you're going to see some really quick boss kills.
Yeah, just 7 minutes in, already at that 3rd level sword. It's going to be just power on power here.
All right, and in the Ice Rod Cave, we find
just a big 20.
All right, so Gem does have the Moon Pearl here, so I suspect we will see a fake flipper. He also has over 500 rupees, meaning he can get pretty much everything right now from using the fake flipper trick.
Yep, and he's even going to get the water dash here as he set that up just so on the way out of Ice Rod Cave. Gives him just incredible speed here. Bombs on the island this time. Last time it was those boots on his feet.
And interestingly, chooses not to head up to the hobo. Of course, that is only one item. We got the hammer!
Hammer! All right, and that is technically out of sequence, but all the same is a fantastic find.
And so, but that... He's still going to need a lift upgrade to open up Dark World access, though. On the ledge, we got 10 bombs, so no need to use any kind of glitches to go grab that right now. But will the purveyor extraordinaire of life lessons live up to his name, or will we actually get something worthwhile from King Zora today? And
oh wow, in spades.
Oh wow.
500 to 1. That item is bad.
Big greener.
Yeah. All right, so starting from the house now. Is it east? No, it's flying. To the east. All right.
It's got to be quicker, or else Gem probably wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, and especially with these boots, you got a couple of nice straightaways here.
Yeah.
And a little bit of spin speed to boot.
Right in the
and now
back,
getting his hook shot.
and in the back of Sahasrala's closet, big 20, piece of fart, and big 20.
Well, if you like symmetry and red things, it's a great back, but otherwise, doesn't really do much.
Not so much. You got to think now, Gem's got to be thinking... Actually, no, I take that back. It's probably going to be a flute up to Death Mountain because of the hook shot. After he checks Bonk Rocks here.
Yeah, he's gonna bonk on those rocks, and I agree. Most likely play, big item dense play for him would be going up to Death Mountain. Because with the combination of that hookshot and hammer, he can even get all the way to the Tower of Hera, which of course played a huge role in the last race. Without a fire source, may end up stranding an item there, or potentially even get locked out of it, big key-wise.
And Jem doing exactly what we thought he was going to do. He's going to grab the old man here. It's really advantageous to have that save and quit location for the old man, even if you have the flute, if only for the free refill with old man kisses.
Yeah, the quickest of your 3 spawn spots for getting that heal and out the door. And like you said, with the flute, it's almost even more valuable because now you're not just stuck up in the mountain.
Right. All right, so Ben is checking Hobo. We'll see if this makes a difference at all. Old man gives a piece of heart. Ben, it's a boomerang.
Depends on how you like it. But yeah, now we got Ben engaging the water dash here off the Hobo. Spectacle rock. Piece of heart.
Yeah. And so Ben will also grab his hammer, and got to assume he will also get the life lesson from King Zora as well. It's one of those things that you're up here, and it's such an out-of-the-way location to check. If you can check it now, you probably should.
Yeah, and in particular, that is exactly the thing that seemed to decide Game 3 of this finals matchup.
Yes.
In particular, tilted it into Ben's favor, because Jem was up here without not quite enough rubies.
All right.
And mirror! Ooh, very nice.
Magic mirror. And sometimes, though, that when you find the mirror this early in the game, it may not be the best item because it opens up so many locations, just like but that's gotta be Kane! That's gotta be Kane! Kane of Samaria and the Ether Medallion up there in Paradox Cave.
Fantastic stuff.
Right, as I was saying.
potentially not of use in the seed, but in the seeds where it's useful, boy, do you want to find it early.
Yeah. That's right. As chat pointing out, that is Mayor Kane now. Yes, yeah. The man who portrayed Kane on TV, Glenn Jacobs, is now the mayor of Knox County, Tennessee. But moving on. Oh, Jem, returning to that faithful location from the prior game, Tower of Hera. And just like the last game, the big key is this has got to be painful for Jem.
Yeah.
I think Jem may go through the rest of this dungeon this time.
Yeah, absolutely. Gonna at least make sure to get the crystal, if not the both items, this early in the seed. But meanwhile, Ben has found his way into the dark world, having sequence broke the hammer, but gotten that glove that Jem has not. Finding the silvers out of Hype Cave.
Always an excellent find. Again, at this level of play, it's one of those items that none of our runners really need to complete the game, but will never turn down.
Yeah, absolutely. Knowing that you just have that much less rather to worry about with your Ganon fight and the knockback and all that, you'll take it. Meanwhile, both items out of Hera now, neither of particular value.
So the lack of fire source not going to hurt Jem at all. He will not have that one location lingering in the back of his mind for the rest of the race. Is my progression there?
Yeah, you never like to leave something hanging here or Eve's Town or wherever you might.
Troll Dorm living up to his name
just
gets
immediate
middle
disrespect.
hold.
Yeah. While Ben will do his dig game, give him his classic M, and one more gets him the arrows, but no thanks.
Alec Baldwin being a bit of a miser today as well. That's 80 rupees for those arrows. Gosh.
Yeah, he heard the guy in Zelda 1 was charging that much, but it doesn't fly around here.
All right, now this time Troll Dorm does not troll Gem, and crystal number 1 at 15 minutes 24 seconds.
Yeah, keeping it just fast as ever with the way the seed opened.
So Ben, with the, as you were mentioning earlier, possible aga play here. So he is going to check the lumberjack since he's over here and has the boots.
Yeah, who'll know whether or not he's looking for that lamp.
But he is not, because it was just a big 20 there. Another piece of fart on top of Spectacle Rock. Gem heading right side now. We're going to go ahead and grab Spiral Cave.
He's got everything he could possibly want for this otherwise relatively unimpressive check. You got your boots, it helps. If you got the hook shot without the boots, it also helps. But, pick your poison, dash on through.
So Ben is going to go ahead and hit up Dark World this way.
And there's our lamp. All right.
Again, that is another item that none of our runners need to complete the game at all, but it certainly is helpful.
Yeah, if you get it forced on you from a chest like that, you're never frustrated. Figure you can do that Mire Dark Room, but you don't want to do it dark.
No.
Yeah, which, speaking of, Ben did eventually get the map check in here in the Dark World. We find that cane's going to be doubly important, and Ether and Quake may both come up as well. So we've got Crystal Mire and Turtle Rock.
Oh, half magic in Agonist Cave. As soon as Gem finds the laser stick, we're going to be burning it down, boys and girls.
Yeah, being able to wield that fire rod with impunity really helps. Meanwhile, it looks like Gem now making the play to escape is going to get that power glove, going to have ultimate access to the Dark World here.
Also going to pick up his level 3 sword. Quick Thieves Town here. The key very early in the chests. Gem's at level 3 sword.
Yeah, with those silvers available in Hype Cave, a place that pretty much nobody ever skips.
No.
It'll be not too long before these runners are on pretty much equal power footing, and so it's really going to come down to finding things, just those little optimizations to the execution.
Yeah, absolutely. Because even though right now you would assume that Ben is quote-unquote ahead, that can change so very quickly.
Yeah, while there are items at large, it can be very difficult to glean a lead from either side.
And that's why we always say that nobody's in the lead until go mode, and sometimes not even then.
Yeah.
Gem's going to make it down here, finally find that lift upgrade, whereas Ben making the way through Thieves Town here. Both of our runners with the blue mail, so these crickets / grasshoppers, whatever you want to call them, all I know is that they hit way too hard. Not going to be as much of a concern for our runners here. And hey, there's a bomb refill.
Nice to get compensated. You would have liked something a little different there, given where we are in the seed, but
sure.
Who knows? We may find some obtuse need for them yet. So as Ben heads to the basement of Thieves Town now, Gem probably going to hit the back of the skater.
Don't blame him at all. I mean, we know from seeing on Ben's screen that it's not going to avail himself of terribly much of importance. Let us see. Okay, there are the flips. So Thieves Town, the second small key is locked inside the big chest. That can happen in this version of the randomizer. So a hammer was not required to fully clear this dungeon.
Yeah, in practice, able to get through this without that hammer, because of the logic accounting for you being very, we'll say, silly with your keys. It does allow that, or it does require, logically speaking, that the hammer should be available. In particular, we know it's from those flippers, so it's a double dip Thieves Town in the weirdest way.
Right.
And of course, neither of our runners will actually have to endure that folly.
So Gem is checking the chest in the dark that Ben did not check. It's just triple bombs. But given where we found the hammer and the lamp, I believe that means that ajneb was technically required by logic.
I think so, yeah. And so, just another example of why fake flippers are a wonderful minor glitch to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Dodging, 6 minutes or something like that of Aga Tower and just standing there hitting laser balls back.
Yeah. And quite frankly, coming from, an old man here whose, technical skills are not on the level of some of you younger whippersnappers, fake flipper, not a terribly difficult trick to learn. Get yourself a save state and just keep going until you get it.
Just need to get those two things done at the same time. You got to transition and be falling in.
And there's Gem with his silver arrows, of course, without a bow to shoot them with. Not very valuable right now. So looks like Ben is going to head on into Skull Woods, aka Value Woods, even without the fire rod, because there are a couple treasure chests, as you see here, that are really easy to check. I'm going to go ahead and knock that out right now.
Yeah, as the logic changes with each version, so too do the opinions on these chests. But in general, if you've got the Dark World access, they're basically overworld. It's just up to you to decide how remote you think they are.
Well, there's a big greener there in that chest. Not what anybody wanted to see.
Yeah, and that's both items out of Skull Woods, which is why you see them hop, skip, and jump right out of there. Yeah, Gem leveraging that mirror in a way that Ben could not for not having it there. We'd probably see Gem end up checking that place later once he finds that mirror.
Sure. And the mushroom turn-in today is 5 rupees.
He's gonna just hard reset there. The purpose being that mushroom can be used as part of the fake powder glitch. We know that Kana Samari is available too, so we'll see if that ends up playing a bigger part in this race later.
Yeah, the smart stuff there from Ben, knowing that if the mushroom is something useful, I'll go ahead and keep it. If not, if it's something like $5, I can sequence break once I find the Kana Samaria by keeping the mushroom. Doesn't really harm him either way. That is the smart stuff, boys and girls. And Ben, again, making it through the dark room with the old man while Gem goes back to the dark world. Got to assume Gem is also going to hop right into Steve's Town and finish that one off, while Ben will make the trek over to the right side and east side of Death Mountain into Paradox Cave.
And so he's going to be in possession of that cane very shortly.
And since it's the finals, we will get an encore. And Gem finding a big 20 down there in Village of Outcasts. In Bomb Hut.
Yeah, severe downgrade from the usual contents of that chest, depending on the order of the items you pick up. Can be a boomerang under certain circumstances, but generally, most players find 300 rupees.
And Ben finding his mirror now, and in just a moment here, it looks like our runners will basically be in basically on equal footing here.
Yeah, the Ether Medallion and the Cane of Samari are right here in this room.
And that's gotta be Kane for Ben in the finals of the tournament.
Yeah, didn't want to be left out from all the action, so decides, you know what, we're making this Crystal Mire and Crystal Turtle Rock. Kane's so nice, we'll use it twice.
Indeed.
And maybe 3 times. We don't know where the Ganon's Tower Big Key is going to be.
Ben checking the floating island there. Just another piece of fart on the floating island. So they will not be grabbing that one when they come up here to Dark Death Mountain later on in the game.
Yeah, and by the time they get up here, who knows? They may be well into their second row of hearts and
right.
thinking less of it. So it would be a tough seed that warrants a player grabbing that one. Yeah, just more of the same here, rushing over each other's footsteps now, both with the boots. With our item spread, or our crystal spread, rather, well, what do we got pedestal-wise? We can't have... Well, we've already got everything for Swamp Palace, so
right.
Nothing there.
The
bow is canceled.
Right.
Yeah.
And either... Depending on where Titan's Mit's Vice Book of Mudora is for Desert Palace. So you need either one of those to get to Desert with the items that we have now.
That could be very interesting if that turns out to be Mit's.
Right. And of course, the Ice Rod can definitely be on the pedestal. The Fire Rod could even be on the pedestal right now.
Yeah. Let's see. I think... Well, if Bombos ends up required as one of the entry medallions, also an option. If, say, the Fire Rod is inside Ice Palace, another reason Bombos could end up on the pedestal.
True.
Yeah, Ben gonna take down Moldorm in 1 frame this time. Getting a little time save over Gem for that. Meanwhile, Gem into the blind fight, gonna run the script. And just go for 9 hits.
Yeah, blind, one of the few bosses in the game that it doesn't matter what weapon you hit him with, it's going to do the same amount of damage.
Yep. And perfect fight from Gem there.
And we're all tied up, boys and girls.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty much check for check. Completely matched here.
And we're only 30 minutes into this seed, and wow, just the amount of power our runners have right now. What with the blue mail, tempered sword, silver arrows have been found, as have both Kane's boots, hammer. This is a very nice seed, even for people who don't need all this gear at this early in the game.
Yeah, it's pretty well stocked here.
And one difference we see, though, Gem actually did run into Agana's cave, which is where he found the half magic. So at this level of play, I'm not certain that it would be a factor, but it could certainly help Gem in some situations.
Yeah, it would take a something of a misstep from Ben for it to really come up, but we've seen stranger things happen at this level of play, including Game 2 yesterday of Andy and Pika, where the boots came in huge, but not the way you'd expect. In the room before the anti-fairy we call Bob.
All right, so on Bumper Cave today, we have another bottle. Since our runners already have one, and you only need one as far as being able to grab items, because one bottle gates sick kid. Bumper Cave, probably not going to see them come back for that. Almost certainly not. Yeah,
most likely not. But we do have Ben going down for his fake powder while Gem continues the North Dark World route. And so we'll see where that powder comes up and if this ends up being worth anything.
Yeah, fake powder, unless I'm missing my guess, this is a glitch that was only really discovered since the randomizer has been out.
I believe so, yeah, but just $50 there. Does not rule that out as a factor in the race, though, because if Gem finds the powder, he may check that, or if he doesn't, he won't be able to, and it'll be one less thing. But, yeah, worth noting, as pointed out in chat, a really slick magic use.
Ooh, there's the mitts! Oh, my! But yes, you were saying about Gem's
his magic use, or Ben's magic use, letting his magic run out in Spike Cave and then routing it into fake powder. Not often you see that kind of consideration put into that particular check. But yeah, mitts out of King's Tomb. You can get there without them. You know, you saw mirror. Some folks don't know that. And yeah, it's gonna be huge.
Definitely. Because Ben is going the South Dark World route, checking the mirror locations there. And it may be a minute before he routes up there to Graveyard Cave. Or Graveyard Cave and just the graveyard in general.
Yeah, because he's heading the other direction now.
Not much in the Meyer Shack, but let us see what is in Checkerboard Cave.
Just
another
vanilla hard. Yeah. All right.
It looks like Ben is making the Swamp Palace play.
I mean, don't knock it until we clear it, I guess.
No.
Because we may find fire, we may find ice, we may find both of them here.
Well, think about what we found. I mean, we're 30 minutes into the game, and we've already found all of the items required for Swamp Palace. The pearl, the mirror, the flippers, hook shot, hammer, right? All of those are required for this dungeon, and even though it's a pendant,
doesn't bar it from containing value.
Yeah. But meanwhile, Jim making probably the safer play given what he has found so far into Misery Mire. All of the items necessary for it are here, to include the big cane.
Oh, just a little early here with the ether pool. Having to run it twice to get those wizards down, but nice knowledge of the damage tables there, knowing that that medallion that normally freezes things does have that lethal effect on those wizards.
Right. Yeah, every single one of the enemies in that room, only 1 hit point. Oh, and there's Bombos. So we, regardless of what item is required for Turtle Rock, we has it.
Yeah, wow. Fantastic. It's going to be peace of mind once those fire and ice rods come into our possession.
Oh, and we have the Godmire. Gem was going to hover. Didn't happen.
Can't blame a guy for trying.
No, not at all.
Yeah, you either get it or you have a pretty nice way back to the door. So
yeah. Now, this does make it a quick mire. However, we've only found 1 item. There are 2 unique items here in Misery Mire. So we'll see, depending on whether or not Viddy has an item, Gem may come back to search some more. Meanwhile, Ben can dig Swamp Palace. He has found the shovel. Wouldn't that be a thing if say, the ice rod is at dig spot?
Oh, man. Just one more level of abstraction there in the chain. But yeah, both of these runners kind of demonstrating a little bit of optimization here. Basically, Gem wanting to, basically planning for success. He wants that item of Vitreous because it means less time here overall.
Of course.
And somewhat similarly, Ben, I guess, didn't find the big key up front, so is going to find it back here and be diving back in pretty much in either case. So, making the best use of their time, getting things out of the way.
Yeah, so far though, this swamp play is not paid off for Ben, but as you're mentioning, it's not counted out yet because he's still got quite a few items. There's the single arrow of dreams. Kind of reminds me of a middle finger, but you know, whatever.
Yeah, well, whenever you don't have the bow, it's definitely a little bit less welcome than it already isn't.
Ooh, Gem playing it playing a little close there. Two hearts left. Now, granted, he does have the blue mail. This is going to be an intricate dance here with Vidi, but it looks like Gem's got it taken care of.
Yeah, without the bow, you know, you normally like to just pierce all those eyes, but Tempered Sword will do just fine as long as you manage that positioning. Gets the key off of Vitreous, is going to go back in, you gotta think. Still got 3 items for go mode. And a beautiful Argus fight from Ben.
Absolutely, I was just about to say the same thing. That's about as good as it gets.
Yeah. Yeah, when you have the boots in that situation, you're able to get some extra damage in very quickly on the puffs.
All right, so Gem opting not to go back into Mire to check for the second item. Gonna head into Desert. He does have access. This is our green pendant, so this is generally the if you're gonna do a pendant dungeon, you generally do the green pendant dungeon.
Yeah, you get a bonus item there for returning that green pendant to Sahasrahla. We'll see if that ends up coming in here.
Yeah, Ben doubling down here on this Swamp Palace choice. It still has not found the big key, so the big key is going to be here on left side Swamp.
Yeah, and given the commitment to the play initially, not a huge frustration. You kind of expect you're going to go all the way through, but still having to make that last trip back out of here, you'd rather be able to mirror from the end.
So if there's nothing in here in Swamp Palace, then Ben's going to be praying for a pedestal seed. But we still have a couple more items to check first, so let's hold off on judgment until we've done that.
Oh, and well, no, we had the lamp. He would have been able to get that side just fine. So, knowingly stranding the item in Mire, and we'll get back to it when he decides it's time, if he decides it's time.
Yeah, remember, it was skipping an item in Tower of Hera in the very previous game to this that ended up costing Gem the match.
Yeah, this series could have been over then, and it'll be over either way at the end of this one.
Right. All right, so we're going to find unless I'm missing my guess, we're going to find the big key right here, and then it's all up to the big chest for Ben for this Swamp Palace gamble.
Yeah, it really wants us to pay off for him,
but you've already made
a lot
the
open. Yeah. Both these runners showing the hook shot, a little bit of movement tech. But I'm sorry, you were saying.
No, I was just saying, just remember that Ben has yet to grab. Oh man, that is it. Nothing in Swamp Palace. Ben running out. Meanwhile, Gem is opening Turtle Rock. I don't think he's going to go in there, but yeah, and I
probably
lost
just saving it for later. Ben hasn't gone for the mitts, I guess. I think you were going to point out.
Yes. Yeah, Ben does not yet have the Titan's mitts, and that is really the difference right now. Gem is able to basically search anywhere at this point with the mirror, the Titan's mitts. Almost everything is open to him right now. Ben, on the other hand, has to make some differing plays.
Red mail for Gem now. And nothing much else here out of Hookshot Cave.
Yeah, nothing doing there for Hookshot Cave. Ben is going to pick up his half magic here. Not what he's looking for, but it's another item location down. We'll see where he goes from here, and that will determine pretty much whether or not he's even in this game at the moment. Of course, I'm just talking about probability, because if this is a pedestal seed, Ben is far ahead right now.
Yeah, depending on when that realization comes, it will be somewhere between a huge and still pretty significant factor that Swamp Palace is down for a bit.
Well, here's another moment of truth right here. He's going to dig. What is at the dig spot? It's the fire rod! Oh my word!
Oh jeez.
Oh my god!
That kind of changes the prognosis on the Swamp Palace play, doesn't it?
Absolutely, 100%. Ben with the commitment on that Swamp Palace play. And now he has the fire rod. Ice Palace is open to him. He can complete Ice Palace. He can complete Skull Woods. Oh my word. The plays, ladies and gentlemen. This is Randomizer for you.
Unbelievable.
This is Randomizer.
As he found that, I believe we missed Gem finding Fire Rod locked Turtle Rock. That saves him a certain respect, because it means he can't dive in there looking for the Ice Rod.
Right, because if you get a nearly perfect arrangement of keys in in Turtle Rock, you can actually make it all the way to Laser Bridge without the fire rod, and that would be relatively heartbreaking if that were to happen. Okay, so Ben is heading back, checking the dark chest here in the back of Escape, which Jim already checked, but you gotta believe Ben is looking for those Titan's mitts hard right now.
Yeah, he knows that is pretty much his main choke point here. He's going to need the bow to finish off Eastern Palace, but that set of mitts gives him so much more to look.
Yeah, it's not going to take too terribly much longer for Ben to head up and find the mitts. He may actually do it now. He may actually work in the catfish check here with a graveyard check, or he may just skip catfish altogether and go up to the graveyard, which looks like exactly what he's doing right now.
Yeah, it's going to be extremely beneficial for him.
Indubitably.
Meanwhile, Gem entering Ice Palace. Got that Bombos medallion, gives him all the power he needs for the certain ice-related blockers. Ben needs a bow and an ice rod.
Right.
Gem needs to go to Swamp Palace and get the shovel to go get the fire rod. What a twist.
Yeah, what exactly. But we're not out of the woods yet, though, because we don't know where the bow is. We don't know where what could possibly be the most trolly item in the entire game. The ice rod is at this moment, because the ice rod can be anywhere. It can be in Turtle Rock itself, which we don't think it is, but it's not locked behind anything other than Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, it's one of those items with just barely any limitations on placement. Just when you have Crystal Turtle Rock, you've just gotta, yeah.
Or as chat just pointed out, Ice Rod could be the second item in Mire as well. Oh, man.
That would be positively doomsaying for
Oh,
Jim at this
man.
point.
Yeah, if I would hate to see this game turn out that way, that the Ice Rod is in Mire, and that means 2 matches in a row.
Ice Rod trolling Jim.
Yeah. Well,
oh man.
Well, not so much the Ice Rod trolling Jim, but 2 matches in a row. His decision to leave a dungeon without getting all the items turns around to bite him.
That's
what that's what I don't want to see. But we're about to find out, because Ben is going through Mire right now. I highly doubt that Ben will nope out without checking all the items at this point, particularly because the one item that is left is the Ice Rod, which can be essentially anywhere.
Yeah, 100% agree. You full clear this when you've got these particular items you're looking for.
We'll see, folks. Anything can happen at this point. This is not over by a sight, even though right now Jim seems to be at a significant disadvantage. Let's not call anything until it's over. Ben, for a second, they're wondering, why isn't this door opening? Oh yeah, I forgot to lift up that skull and get the key.
We are going to see the rush to Vidi, but likely the return inside. Again, planning for success, wanting that item off of the boss here.
Jim, without the fire rod, has to use bombos to kill the Freezor enemies here. Turns out to be a good thing. There's the butter. I called it earlier. Rewind this. I called it.
Alright, pop into the hammer as he pushes that block aside. He's going to play a similar game here, rushing the boss. I don't believe... Well, did he clear the rest of it? Maybe I'm talking on my end.
I did not count the number of items that he has grabbed here in Ice Palace. But yeah, I thought that myself at first, but seeing that it's Jim, I was thinking, oh no, he'd go ahead and grab the big chest if it was an item, but we'll see. Making a slight error there on Cold Stare, not knocking him back with a spin, but with Butter Sword, this is, yeah, Jim's in no danger of failing here.
There was a key. Their map was at large. So, I guess the map was in the big chest.
Yeah.
I'll admit having not quite caught the whole run there. Cane of Berna helps Ben out here on Vitreous. A longer fight, but one that gets done, and that's the important part.
So Jim going back to the one location he did not check earlier, and that was the Hobo. Again, not going to be terribly happy with this. He's just going to find a Bloomerang, but... And Ben is, in fact, heading back in to find item number 2 here in Misery Mire.
Yeah, and this will be interesting to see which item this turns out to be, because having stranded it here quite deliberately, Gem is unlikely to return for quite some time.
Agreed. There are only 2 unique items here in Misery Mire. The first one, of course, was Bombos. Both of our players have that. The second one, we are about to find out.
It looks like Gem is going to Swamp Palace now. This is going to pay dividends, but it just...
Is he checking Cave South of Grove?
I thought he had already been there. I guess with the Mitts is going for the Smiths.
Ah.
Okay. Yeah. Early call by me, my fault.
It's all right. I mean, that when you see people take that teleporter, you've got to. That's a very common route there. All right, there's the map. The suspense is building here over here in Misery Mire.
Yeah. And Ben is really, really banking on not having to do the cutscene here.
Yeah.
Once we got a key.
But it looks like the dungeon is saying, "Oh no. We're gonna make you take the absolute longest possible amount of time."
Yeah. And in particular, he's actually going to rush all the way back over to the other side of the dungeon to this one last chest. For the compass.
Of course, and it is Vanilla Big Key cutscene time, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh man! All right, and well, hey, you plan for success, right? You want to believe the seed has your best interest at heart. That's a ridiculous belief, but.
And another bottle of blue goo at the Smiths, and we'll be checking out the purple chest here as well.
Yeah, gonna mirror again. Got that flute. It's gonna be a real easy drop off here.
Yeah. We will see what Gary has in his lunchbox today.
Just $20.
Big 20.
Order a pizza.
You'd have to find a pizza on special if you want to have only going to pay $20. At any rate.
What do we got here? Let's see.
Moment of truth number 2. Just a bomb upgrade. Okay, so Gem does not need to worry about going back in. However, as we were talking about this earlier, Epipoliticos, that when you have something like Thieves Town, right, where you could possibly leave an item sitting there, that one location, if you remember it, is gnawing at you the whole rest of the game. And if Gem gets into a situation where he's looking for, say, the ice rod,
he may get into the position to go back there, absolutely.
Right.
But right now, he's going to make a play that's going to pay off for him.
Yes.
He's going to pick up the shovel out of here. And we'll see what he does after. If he jumps right out, feeling a little bit of heat, or if he continues through it the same way that Ben did about maybe 10, 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, I think it would be difficult at this point to hop out, given the limited number of locations that Gem has available to him right now based on his items. He cannot complete Skull Woods. He cannot complete Palace of Darkness or Eastern Palace, or Turtle Rock with the items that he's already been to Turtle Rock. So
yeah, I'm definitely thinking a bit ahead to getting that shovel checked for that fire rod. But you're absolutely right. With those other items at large, really hard to justify a dive out of here.
Yeah.
The only other thing I could think of for that would be shovel being close, but we'll see. I expect him to finish this one out.
No, but you do make a fair point. I mean, shovel, the dig spot is like 2 screens away from the Swamp Palace and the Light World, so that could be a decision that Gem makes here. But it's one of those things. A lot of times, once you get into that dungeon, you better commit to it. A lot of times. Now, interesting here. Is Ben going to continue on here in Desert or no? Yes, he is.
Oh wow! Again, that green pendant, tempting.
Mighty tempting.
And at this point, it has that extra little bit of oomph to it if this turns out to be pedestal.
Right.
This back half pretty easy. Got that tempered sword, fire rod. Landmo's going to be a breeze.
Yeah, a half magic fire rod. Landmo's really going to be a breeze.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of items still outstanding here. Unfortunately, for everyone who is a pedestal aficionado, it looks like the only item possibly that could be on pedestal right now, required wise, would be would be Ice Rod, unless we have like an ultimate fetch quest like Book to Powder to Ice Rod.
Yeah, we're down to just that, as Ben is 2 items away, but that bow would be needed to get Palace of Darkness pendant.
Right. Yeah, bow cannot possibly be on pedestal, but... Alright, there's the green pendant.
Yep. With that flute, it's easy enough to turn in. So we'll see if he gives that a quick check, or if he holds it off until maybe a plate of the Palace of Darkness. Maybe it's both incoming just now. While we hear the sounds of dashing from Ben, we've got a similar thing going on with Gem as he uses those dash pokes to take down the puffs on Argus, similar to Ben earlier. Having just a bit of trouble. The animation has to finish despite the lack of puffs.
Yeah. All right, so green pendant only yielding a piece of fart, not what Ben was hoping for, but should this turn out to be a ped seed? All right, Ben's prepared.
Yeah, Gem now finishing off Argus, has that shovel, has no big key here, and has a famous penchant for disregarding left side swamp. And he's going to live up to it.
Continue to do so, yes.
All right.
All right, so Ben heading up to Dark World Death Mountain right now, you got to believe.
Yeah, has not been up here, having gotten the mitt somewhat later than Gem in this situation.
All right, well, Gem's about to find his fire rod. Let's see if he goes straight to Skull here. No, he's going back to the Dark World.
Interesting.
Now, is Ben going to do the Turtle Rock Gambit here?
Yeah, having the fire rod has a chance to get significantly further. Of course, unless he finds the ice rod here, will not be able to complete the dungeon just yet.
Now, I will say this, though. I would not at all be surprised if the bow is sitting here in Turtle Rock.
It seems likely.
Yeah.
We got 5 non-dungeon items here, dungeon, and we'll see if it ends up coming up sooner or later. It's gonna have to come up at some point.
Ben hitting up Hookshot Cave, could finally find his red mail. We know there's nothing else in here in Hookshot Cave. Now this is interesting. Is Gem going to check Catfish?
It appears so.
All right. Well, we could have another turning point in this match right now if Catfish has something important like the bow or the ice rod or the Book of Medora, which could lead to something else.
Leading to all points, yeah. Got our tablets, our pedestal, of course.
All right.
All right.
The Quakefish has. And Gem preemptively selecting the mirror so he can get the heck out of Dodge if it's not something good. It is the powder, a useful item, not so useful anymore, but Gem has not fake powdered, so Gem may actually run back to Kakariko Village to check that.
Yeah, I think so. It'll route nicely into likely taking the time to finish up Skull Woods now, but he may save that for later since they did find both the items.
Meanwhile, Ben is in fact going to take the gamble on Turtle Rock here. Back a few versions ago, it seemed like the ice rod was always in Turtle Rock. That being said, it's still just as likely as any other place that the ice rod is in here. Turtle Rock having 5 items plus the Mimic Cave, so about 6 items.
Yeah, it's dense, jam-packed, and with that ice rod, as we've been saying, only place in here it can't be is on Trinex.
Right. And it looks like great minds maybe thinking alike here. Jem heading back up to East Side Death Mountain. He may also be heading into Turtle Rock.
Yeah, would not be surprised.
No, not at all. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are 1 hour into this Game 5 of 5 finals for all the marbles. We'd like to remind you, if you're enjoying what you're seeing here, and how could you not be? This is a heck of a race. Why don't you give these runners a follow here on Twitch? Ben and Jem putting in work for your entertainment, and we appreciate your support here on Speed Gaming as well. If you scroll down from the player, you can see a whole bunch of different tournaments that are going on Speed Gaming right now. Not only retro games like The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, but also current games like Nier Automata, etc. Many different games for your speedrunning entertainment, and we'd appreciate your support as well. But it is down to the bow and the ice rod in this match, Epibleticos.
Yeah, absolutely. We are just 2 items away from this go mode. These 2 items with this particular layout. Jem forgetting he's been here before. Well, deja whoops. And gonna head up now to the roller room, pick up at least 1 small key. I also want to take the time to shout out to our tracker, Meekan's Box, keeping these items up to date here at the bottom. That way we can be certain we're just those 2 items from go mode.
That's right.
Whoa, nice double kill from Ben there with the gold pins.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Yeah. I mean, the setup looks easy enough, but I'm sure it requires pretty precise movement and timing so you don't end up getting knocked off from the fireball. So into that honorary Turtle Rock item, Mimic Cave.
Right.
What do we have here?
Could be anything. It is the bow!
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
So this could be a required double dip into Turtle Rock if the ice rod is not on Laser Bridge. Then you're looking at possibly Pod or Eastern Palace having the ice rod. So lots of possibilities remain here. And let's say one of our runners goes to Eastern, one of them goes to Pod, and the ice rod is in one or the other. That could be a huge difference in how this match turns out.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, as we've been saying, we're down to that most elusive item, and every play after that bow counts.
Yeah, without a doubt. So everything is open to us now. There's only 1 location that our runners there's 3 locations, I'm sorry, that our runners can't get to right now. That's Bumper Cave, but we already know that is not a required item. And the 2 tablets, which would require the Book of Medora. So every other location in the game that they haven't checked is now available to them. And other than Ganon's Tower and Trinex itself, any of them could be the ice rod. Here is Laser Bridge.
Have a heart container. Have a little trouble with the skip, gets the bug net. Tells that hard hat beetle to buzz off.
And that is it. The Turtle Rock quest is done. And the quest for the ice rod.
Jem is going to pick up this bow here.
The quest for the ice rod.
Can't imagine he doesn't continue. Yeah.
Yeah.
But are we going to see a bold play here? Nope, straight out to the portal, and you can't blame the guy. 4 items just moments away.
But this is interesting. Ben has chosen to go straight to Eastern Palace and not take the Dark World teleporter and then warp from the entrance of Palace of Darkness to Eastern. If he doesn't find the ice rod in here, you got to think he's going to turn right back around and come back the way he came little bit of a time loss, not too much, but we'll see.
Yeah, it could be the case here. The only other thing I'm thinking is if he hasn't been in Ice Palace yet, but of course,
That's true.
The draw to go mode that dungeon is very strong because if you do your Ice Palace bomb jump, you have the opportunity there to just completely circumvent a sort of navigation puzzle built into that dungeon. So we'll have to see. You've got on one hand, the locations, as you described, like just so proximal versus getting your crystals. And Pod is not an empty place.
No, not at all. 5 items in Palace of Darkness.
I mean, of course, we have the advantage of knowing that ice cleared out by Gem doesn't hold anything. But...
Right. And that could be, many runners do not like checking Ice Palace at all because clearing it out is so much quicker if you can do it in go mode. Because then one Ice Palace bomb jump straight to Cold Stare saves you a significant amount of time.
Yeah, absolutely. Gem now finishing off his laser bridge. Then continuing his quick quest through the Eastern Palace, and we're seeing Gem make the same play here. He's gonna disregard Pod for now, getting every spin speed he can manage.
Sure.
And then grabbing it off of the big chest too. These guys know a lot is on the line here.
Absolutely, but the moment of truth is coming up here very, very quickly. I believe we have found 2 items here in Eastern. All right, so number 3 is going to be on Armos Knights.
So I think someone in chat earlier mentioned the Pyramid Fairy, and possibly as the reasoning for getting right to Eastern Palace and not worrying about Pod. If you're gonna head to Eastern, you're gonna get your second 5-6. You're gonna be able to route that up to the pyramid and then come back to Palace of Darkness, I guess.
It's a fair point.
Yeah, and relatively quicker check to make. Especially, we saw last race, Ben showing off the bomb dupe. Pretty sure that Gem's comfortable with the trick as well.
Yeah.
And in either case, it doesn't take that much longer to do it, quote unquote, properly.
Now remember, if the ice rod is here on Armos Knights, Gem, it is not. We have the cape, so the quest for the ice rod continues.
Yeah, and that's going to be crystal number 4 there for Ben after spending some time in pendant dungeons. One of the big differences here so far being Gem's decision to live up to his rep and skip left side swamp. That's gotta, if this pays off for him, it's gotta feel great. But we'll see if he pulls this one out yet, as the ice rod, of course, still at large. Now Ben gonna jump right down to Palace of Darkness, it looks like. Some questions about places checked already in terms of that ice rod location. Of course, it can be anywhere, but anywhere except the places we've already checked. So we don't know about Pedestal yet because no book, but we have cleared out Skull Woods already. We're about to get I believe, our first look into the Palace of Darkness. Paying off the monkey, gonna get in here. We'll see. We've got the bow now. Was it prudent, logically speaking, to wait until now to get in here? If we've got a key here, it was available for a long time.
Right. And no pyramid fairy check either. That's
no, skipping right over it, but kind of like that skull skipped over its actual blowing up animation.
Right.
But this game is good.
Yeah, major swag there by Ben. So this could be, we keep saying this, but given the fact that we're down to a single item every decision right now is huge, and this could be huge
crucial.
depending on where Gem goes from here. Does Gem go back to Desert? Does he go to Skull? Right? Neither one of our runners have been to Skull Woods yet, and remember, Ben still has to clear Ice Palace.
Yeah. Well, our runners had gotten the items out of Skull.
Right.
It ended up being 21 rupees, but yeah, we still got that crystal to retrieve. We've got the other back half of, like the other finisher in Turtle Rock once we do find it. Everything else in between, though, and it's just positively tantalizing, as it looks like we're going to get that pyramid check from Gem here. This could be huge.
I mean, if he goes to Pyramid Fairy and the Ice Rod is there, that's almost certainly the game.
He'll be in go mode first, that's for sure.
Yeah. So many different moments of truth in this game so far. We're about to see another one. Of course, every chest that Ben opens up here in Palace of Darkness is also its own little moment of truth.
It really is. Each check is just so significant right now.
Of course, as Dr. Bobtastic has been known to say, this Palace of Darkness here is Mullet Mansion. Business in the front, party in the back. All the keys here in the front.
Yep. Gem rather, getting his bomb dupe. Yeah. Here we are. Come to this.
The one location nobody wants to ever check. It has a sword and a piece of fart.
Man, we're still on the prowl. We are still on the prowl.
Still on the prowl for that ice rod. So, oh my word. Yeah, because even if it is here in Palace of Darkness, that's got to be where Gem is headed as well.
I would think so. It's one of the highest density locations that remain.
Right.
Get beat up by the Torosu, tells him what for, and off he goes.
Yeah, but even if it's in here, remember that Ben still has to go clear Ice Palace. Now, he'll get to go mode clear it, but I don't know that he's far enough ahead right now for that to, oh man. It's
going to be close. Ben spent a lot of time in those pendant dungeons, time that Gem did not. He minimized his time about as much as he could.
And remember, Gem did nope out of left side Swamp Palace.
Yeah, and that may turn out to be one of the differences here.
All right,
between that and finishing Desert.
Ben is in the Maze of Darkness. There is a full heart container. I think we have 2 items remaining here in Palace of Darkness.
I believe so.
That is not it right there.
Yeah, and you gotta wonder, is this gonna force Helma?
It may. There's the ice rod! Go mode! Go mode!
Oh man. Where was that big key?
I do not remember, but
I can't really say I saw it either. Chad, help us out here. Where was that big key? Because this could be big key in the dark basement. All right, thank you, chat. And yeah, go mode here for Ben. He's into Ice Palace.
Yeah, and go mode ice. So, this is going to be close, boys and girls. And will this come down to a left side, right side in Ganon's Tower? Oh my word, this is going to be a close match, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know why anyone has an entire seat, because they're only going to need the edge of it for the rest of this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my.
And it does look like this one is going to come down to the wire.
Yeah, Gem coming through the middle here on Palace of Darkness is going to go up, it looks like, to the vanilla big key spot first. And knowing he kind of short through that bomb, drops the other one immediately to speed that along. Ben, likewise, dashing like mad.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it's something like any space over 4 tiles, it's better than dash.
Right.
And I'm sure Ben knows it very well and is employing it every chance he can. Gem
it's
now
difficult.
back down the middle of Palace.
It's difficult to commentate this because I'm so excited right now.
I know.
Ben?
Yeah.
All right, so Ben's setting up for the Ice Palace bomb jump. He's got it, so...
Yeah, easy every time for these guys.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Gem in the back now.
But even if it's easy every time, like it is for these guys, as you mentioned, the pressure, the nerves can get to you at this point. My gosh, this is going to be close.
Yeah, and there goes that big key off the left side of the horseshoe. Great spot. But Jim, knowing he's got a fistful of keys back here, has hit that threshold where there should be something here.
Yep. And look at this. I mean, oh my God. I think Jem is going to have a slight advantage here. I think he's going to find the ice rod just slightly before Ben finishes off Cold Stare. We'll see, though.
Yeah, it seems about the right timing. We got 2 chests here, and then he's got to get into that big chest, and from there...
Perhaps not, but the fanfare from killing the boss is gonna be a hot second, too.
Absolutely. Oh, and also getting trolled by that ice block that fell on Gem. I mean, the RNG for these bosses is set for them each the same for the first instance of the fight. But there's that ice rod about 3 minutes after. And as Cold Stare is exploding, Gem is warping on out of the Dark World, going to be fluting away off to Skull Woods. He's got a moth to burn.
Yeah.
And so just moments ahead.
And we'll see what... all right, so he enters the Dark World at 1:16:50. And we'll see when Ben enters the Dark World heading over to Skull Woods.
Yeah, he's going to dash out. He's got that flute ready already. And looking for that extra 50-50 bomb off of that rock. You got to have good habits and fundamentals like that.
Yep.
Don't expect to run out of 6 bombs with what's left, but hey, you want to have the 7th.
All right, we're looking at about 33 seconds difference. We'll call it 33 seconds difference between the two of these going into Skull Woods.
Yeah, the only major difference apart from time at this point is that sword upgrade.
Not going to make any difference whatsoever, though, on Mothula.
In particular, yes.
And I'm trying to think of any enemy in Ganon's Tower that the Butter Sword will give you an advantage against. And I'm not thinking of one. It won't make much of a difference on Ganon himself either.
Yeah, when you have this power, and in particular when you have the boots, those first 2 phases go down pretty quickly regardless. It is literally going to be half the number of attacks for it, depending,
right.
But wow.
Yeah, it will make a difference on Trinex, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're able to more comfortably pull off that from the backstrat.
Yep.
And the spikes didn't even move. Like, just, okay.
All right, so Jim, again, like you said, slightly ahead, gets his old man kisses.
Wow, Ben really, literally just frames behind on that, it seems. As you could tell, the moving spike traps disappear at the end of that fight. Just the one extra up in the corner for him.
Well, if you wanted one down to the wire,
yeah,
you got it.
So Gem on this ultimate climb now. Chat remarking that there were a few seconds lost in the whole thing, and yeah, undoubtedly gonna oscillate for a bit here as we come down to the end, I'm sure.
Yeah. It's all going to come down to this Ganon's Tower play here. That big key going to be a big. Sorry to be redundant there, but the big key is going to be a big thing there.
Yeah,
once they
living
get
up to the
GT.
name.
Because the route until they get to that big key, at least through Turtle Rock here, is going to be almost exactly the same. This is all execution, boys and girls. And
there's nothing left to find.
Yeah, and it's also hard. I mean, looking at these two runners, I can't say with any certainty which one I believe has the better execution.
Yeah, I mean, both of them absolutely top notch. You got to be to get here. You've got to be to drive this series to its 5th game, because depending on the outcome here, people might say Gem got reverse sweeped. They might say that Ben choked, but neither I would say is true. Each win, regardless of the order against this opponent for either of them, is positively huge, and it's a testament to them both to have this come down to just this last match, to just moments apart on that ice rod.
Yeah, and I think Ben is making up some time here. I think he's less than 30 seconds behind Gem right now. I think he has made up some time.
Let's see, we'll mark 121.20 for entering the platform maze here. But I certainly don't doubt it.
Perhaps I miscounted. I miscounted rooms. Not bad.
It's all good. It's still so tight.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And having cleared the laser bridge earlier, has that key. Going through the block puzzle now. Line up. Came to Samaria. Pick up one last magic refill for good measure. Actually, won't even bother. He knows it's on the line. No time, half magic. We got this.
Yeah, exactly. The half magic being the probably the determining factor there.
Oh, and I missed quite what Ben's time was, but it's like he's floating around 45, if I had to guess. Yeah. Chat saying 37, so I could be way off. But yeah, that gold sword just going to town. It's got
right. Yeah, without a doubt there. I mean, that is the advantage that having the butter sword gives you there is try and X.
Nice.
Yeah, flawless final stage there.
Oh, Ben having a slight mismenu there. Gonna head to the back, go at this with the tempered sword. Keeping that firehead in place. And just go into town. Gonna just tank that hit from the...
Yeah, why not? You got red mail.
Yeah. And of course,
ladies and gentlemen, for the final time of the tournament, there are 22 chests in Ganon's Tower in which the big key could possibly be. Get your guesses in the chat right now very quickly before Gem enters Ganon's Tower. Ooh.
And Ben also just acing that Trinex fight, even taking him down in the second phase quicker than Gem. Yeah. Not getting all the way to the corner to turn up. And wow. All right. $123.43.
Yep.
On the entry.
All right. And we will get a key. So will Gem go right side? I think he will. Yes, he will.
Yeah, he tends to when he can.
Let's see if Ben makes the same decision. It's that meta game with your opponent, right? If you know that your opponent tends to go right side, if you think you're behind, right, do you go left just in case?
Yeah, I mean, in general, that is the thinking, that you can't catch up if you're following him around.
Right.
But it looks like about 24-26 on his side, and so about 43 seconds apart. You got 2 items checked so far, a third one, a fourth, the fifth.
And 6, still no key. Ben is also going right side, so it is going to be execution.
Yeah, with less than a minute apart, both of these runners going the same way, it's going to come down to, once again, just the execution here. If you're running the same path, you've got to make up every bit you can.
Got Piece of Fart. We've got Mirror Shield. All right, the Riot Shield in the house today, boys and girls. So Jem's going to have full kit. There's the book.
Yeah, speaking of full kit, huh?
Yeah. The Jem's going to have the red mail, butter sword, riot shield, silver arrows.
Yep. I guess we left a bottle somewhere we saw it. Was that Bumper Ledge?
Yes.
Yeah, nobody going back for that.
No, not at all.
Yeah, so just so close to the full imagery. Yeah, the seed requiring just about absolutely everything of these runners.
Yeah. So we're getting down to the wire here. I have completely
This is number 12.
Thank you. And no, nothing doing. Jem, as many players do here, dropping bombs all over the place.
Yeah, you gotta lose weight so you can run a little faster. It's not a thing, but it's fun. And 14. All right.
What were you looking for, Jem?
Call it
13.
Oh, 13. Okay.
Yeah, 13.
Oh, yeah, I'll trust the doctor on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll definitely trust Doc on that, but...
Yeah.
Wow.
I believe he was looking for another key, because it would have saved him just a tiny bit of time.
Yeah, probably. Right. Tell us what the right answer was, Dr. Bob-tastic. Now you're saying 15. Don't toy with my emotions in that way. All right.
Either way, Ben on his way out now.
And it is gauntlet time. So many little things can be time differences here in the gauntlet. The RNG of the enemies. Do you have a good gauntlet or a bad gauntlet? Ben, I think, just got through the red Gorias there much quicker than did Jem. Jem, see, having a little bit of trouble there with the skeletons. That's what I meant about the RNG and the enemy placement. Beamoses.
Oh, a nice shot there with the silver, though.
Sniped!
Yeah, acing that, and Zazak's just lining up for him.
Beautiful.
Yeah, this is going incredibly well now after a slightly shaky start in those two rooms.
All right, Landmos. 1, 2, 3. Perfect.
Yeah, great stuff.
So, gauntlet complete for Jem. Onto the fun rooms. You know, the ones where you get to just kill Wizrobes with the best item in the game, the Cane of Samaria.
Yeah, Ben also performing quite well here in the gauntlet. Is out and into the Lambo 2 fight.
Oh no, Ben gonna lose time here.
Yeah, that got away from him, didn't it? Oh.
Yes, it did. Opting not to use his silver arrows, opting to use the fire rod, which, you know,
seeming to get pegged with a rock or something there at the start.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Jem missing one of those fire rod shots there.
Oh, and a nice setup there to get key up quickly. Wow, even for going the final refill there, a lot of players very religiously pick up the
right
magic up from under that skull.
But yeah, be honest here. He's got half magic over half his bar left, which means he's got like a full magic bar heading into a Ganon fight with red mail, silver arrows.
Yeah, he's just fine.
Yeah.
But just what I mean with the optimizations here. Grab nothing you don't need.
Yep. All right, so here's Aga 2. And this looks like a good setup here. 1, 2, 3, triple.
Oh, baby. And this is looking good again. Should be easy
pickings.
That's it!
Oh,
like
double!
A champion.
Double, triple. Wow.
I can't imagine Ben doesn't also get that. I mean, those were great setups. But you still got to finish them. But, oh, man. Just absolutely pounding us down, though, for the last stretch.
Yeah, no, this, it seems academic right now. It seems that Gem has got this, but...
any little thing could go wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't want that, of course. We should go on these runners, but here we go. And just hacking away with the gold sword easily through that first phase.
Oh no, Ben does not get a triple on the first round against Aga 2, but his second round... Oh no!
Oh gosh, yeah, gonna lose some time here.
Yeah.
It does knock it down. Gem into phase 3 now, gets that first hit in, able to dash in to prevent those fire bats from spawning. They are such a problem if they come out.
Absolutely. All right, we are getting into the final stage here against Ganon. Imminent. Now, again, Gem does have the silver arrows, so this is going to be relatively academic once stage 4 starts.
Yep. He's got those arrows at the ready. Gonna be able to set up a single shot. Wants to prep. Oh, just a little late getting the torch glitch, but won't need it.
Should get a double here. And does.
Yep.
And GG.
Yeah, just one bridge cross left. A $2,000 difference here.
Right.
But GG's to Gem. I can't imagine. He's in position and should not fall for any reason.
Right. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations to the 2018 Link to the Past Randomizer Summer Tournament Champion, Gem.
Fantastic stuff. GG's to him.
Absolutely.
5 games it took on top of the string of victories beforehand. That's first place, official time. What you see on his, the hour, 32 minutes and 40 seconds. Wow.
Absolutely incredible series between he and Ben. Ben, of course, a 2-time champion here. Gem, the first one to take him down in a finals. But superb tournament, superb races. And as you were saying, I mean, this finals could not have gone any better.
Yeah, just absolutely fantastic, unbelievably exciting matches. Now, GG's to Ben, finishing up that Ganon fight, shaking off the Aga 2 jitters, but just behind Gem now, less than a minute apart. 1 hour, 33 minutes, and 39 seconds. Down to the wire.
I mean, we've seen closer races before, but still, that was a heck of a race there, especially towards the end. Less than a minute separating these guys. That just shows you how good they are.
Positively scintillating, wow.
And the interesting thing here is that and we are joined now in the chat by ajneb174. Ben, GG's just not quite enough today.
Hey, thanks.
Also, Jim now joining us, our summer champion. Congratulations. What a series from both of you.
Thanks. GG, Ben.
GG.
And how are you guys feeling after that? Did you imagine it would be just this close?
obviously, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And don't get me wrong, the second place prize, nothing to sneeze at, but obviously there's some difference. Yeah, just positively scintillating stuff from you guys. So many moments in this race. I think Ryu said it as like little moments of truth where the pendulum would swing each way. And when that shovel led to the fire rod, Ben had it first. Like, just incredible when Gem then goes to find it, and you guys are just about neck and neck then, and really Ice Palace being a difference at that point. Like, I just couldn't have asked for a better Game 5 a viewer and a commentary standpoint. I hope you guys feel like you gave it your all.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's really cool that like the last game was this close.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you definitely don't want to see it come down to something one-sided, because then what was it all for? But it was 2 wins each in a row. But I think that doesn't even quite tell the story in a way. Like, if this went back and forth, like, that seemed to truly be the nature of the series. Each of you guys just in each successive match sussing out one of those items a little quicker, and each race it having actually a slightly different effect. Like, finding Fire Rod earlier here, this one wasn't enough, the way like finding Mirror earlier, Game 3, kind of called it curtains early. How have you guys felt about your routing throughout this? How are you feeling about the notion of V30 on the, just overall comfort as the game evolves?
Well, I have to admit I'm not really a fan of it.
Oh,
At least the way they implement it.
Yeah. And luckily that's all still in testing, so we'll see just what the devs come up with in the meantime.
Yeah.
But,
still looking forward to trying it. I haven't actually tried this yet because, well, no, I was kind of busy.
a little bit, yeah. I guess you both were.
Yeah.
Ben, any thoughts to add on the way the series, the tournament went?
I'd say that I lost against that side swamp. In this race, I went left and I lost probably around 3 minutes.
It was certainly a factor.
Yeah, in race 3, I didn't go left and there was something there, I don't remember what. So yeah, and it was a pendant again. I think there was only one race where it was not a pendant in our races.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also one of the differences, Ben, was that you decided to complete Desert Palace and turn in the green pendant. Gem did not. So that was another one of the different. Gem, I believe you went through the front half of Desert but didn't do the back half, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. I also skipped the second item in my.
And we were talking about that too, because the previous race, it was skipping the second item in Tower of Hera that was really the difference in that race. Knowing that you skipped the second item in Mire, like, was that haunting you the rest of the race, particularly while you were looking for that ice rod?
Yeah, I mean, every single skip you make, especially when it's the ice rod missing in the end, you just feel super anxious, but well, you just gotta commit to it and then search elsewhere and hope you are right.
In a different seed, this all could have gone completely differently. Like I said, the series has been just so exciting to watch. It was sad that starting out you knew somebody had to lose just because of the play here. And yeah, it's fantastic stuff. Pulling out all the stops, Ben going with the fake powder after the hard reset on the mushroom. Just absolutely all the stops here with the execution. Both of your mob fights barely started before they were. Yeah, I'm mostly speechless at this point.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for a fantastic, incredible runs, absolute entertainment. Another shout out to our tracker Mikan, Phantom Ryu. It's been a pleasure to commentate with you for this finals match.
As always, Epipoliticos, honor to commentate with you as well. But ladies and gentlemen, before we wrap these things up here, we would like to remind you that the third place match between ALG Andy and Picapals is coming up right now.
Yeah.
On Speed Gaming.
Again, to Ben for second place in this tournament. Congratulations to our champion, Jem. Big prizes for both of you, $2,000 and $4,000 respectively. Well earned. And with that, I'll give Ryu the last word.
Well, obviously, before we sign it off, our competitors, Ben, you first. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we sign off today?
I just say thanks to everybody for working on this tourney. Thanks to Twitch, I guess. Yeah, thanks for commentators all the time. It's a lot of work, so GG.
And before we sign off, Jem, the champion, what do you have to say, sir?
Well, yeah, just like Ben, I'd like to thank everybody involved in this tournament. Well, Pizza, the mastermind behind Speed Gaming, all the people that help out. Thanks to Twitch for sponsoring this. Yeah, shoutouts to all the racers that were in the top 8. I think everybody in this top 8 was really good and had a shot at winning this. So yeah, I was really happy to see all these great people in the top 8. Thanks for commentating. And kind of a special shout out to Pink Kitty Rose, because it was her that skipped the second item in Mile against me in the last tournament. That's how she got me out. So yeah, well, I copied that gamble, and that kind of won me this race. So yeah.
Fantastic.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your attention in this hype final match. A special shout out to Twitch for sponsoring this tournament and providing us the ability to provide some of the prizes to the winners here today. Again, I will say, if you enjoyed what you saw here today, and how could you not have? That was an amazing race between two amazing competitors. Please give Jem and ajneb174 a follow here on Twitch, but don't go anywhere. Don't close that browser window. Don't touch that tab. Game 3 between ALG Andy and Picapals is coming up very shortly here. And I will turn it over now to Abraxas and Slim Kirby, our fine commentary team for the next race. I have been Phantom Ryu. Thank you so much for your attention. Goodbye for now, everybody.
Good night, everybody.